It's time for the Kim Hammer Show, where you'll learn how your state government affects you, your family, and community. Here's Kim Hammer.
Good afternoon on a beautiful fall Saturday afternoon after the beginning of the week being as rainy as cold as it is. It's a beautiful Saturday if you're out and about enjoying the countryside. You can see the trees are beginning to turn, so it's a beautiful time of year. We're going to get right into it today because we got a really full schedule. We are going to be focusing on local races today. A lot of the national races, such as the congressional races here in the state, and also Senate races and the presidential race are getting a lot of attention. However, we need to focus also on the local races because that's the base, the foundation from which everything builds upon. So today we're going to give our attention to five individuals that are running either for city alderman, city director here in Central Arkansas. Two are going to be from down in Benton. Two are going to be from Cabot, and one here in Little Rock. I want to thank my sponsors, first of all, Everett GMC Buick down in Saline County. Great place for you to get a new car, a pre-certified used vehicle, or also go down and get all your service work done down at Everett GMC Buick there in Saline County at I-30 and Alcoa exit. Also, Baxley Phillips Mouty here in, or Baxley Penfield Mouty, sorry guys, here in Central Arkansas. They'll take care of all your real estate needs. They can take care of whether it be on the rental or on the commercial side of things, residential. They can take care of all your real estate needs here in Central Arkansas. Great place to get your property listed, or if you have property you want to rent, you can list it with them as well. They're there at Spring Hill and Highway 5. They're in Saline County. They'll take care of you anywhere here in Central Arkansas. And then Edwards Food Store, located here in Central Arkansas, as well as over in East Arkansas. You can get some great deals at Edwards Food Store or Edwards Cash Saver, one and the same. And you can pay the 10% above cost over at the Edwards Cash Saver. But look one up here in Central Arkansas, over in East Arkansas, and you'll get a great deal. I was in there again this morning. Clean stores. I just can't say enough about how accessible they are and how well stocked they are, and just how good the produce is, as well as their meat market and all the other things that are important inside a food store. All right, want to also remind you that today's Halloween, so when you get to going out tonight, make sure that you pay particular attention. Remember, if you're out trick-or-treating, make sure you have a flashlight or something where you can be seen. Make sure you don't step out from behind the cars without looking first, and if you're driving, go the speed limit -10, just to make sure you got time to stop. So let's be careful. If I don't have my dates mixed up, tonight is daylight savings time. We roll back tonight. So there you go. We're going to get an extra hour sleep. This is the better of the two options. And so just remember that when you go to set your clocks. And then also remember, this Tuesday is the big day. Go vote. Okay? Go vote. You don't want to wake up Wednesday morning and wish you would have. So get out there and go vote. All right. First guest on the Kim Hammer Show today is Lindsay, calling in from Benton. And Lindsay Jordan is running for Ward 4 down there. Is that correct, Lindsay?
Yes, sir, it is.
Very good. So what I did was I emailed all the folks that are calling in today a list of 7 questions, and we're going to go through them, and we're going to try to give each candidate around 10 minutes to get the questions answered so you can be informed as a listening audience, but also just to give them an opportunity to share with you a little bit about themselves. So, Lindsay, first of all, share a little bit about you and your family that you'd be comfortable with the general public knowing.
All right. Well, first, I want to thank you for having me on today to talk about myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lindsay Jordan. I'm a 6th-generation Benton resident. My family, the Pettys, settled here in the 1870s, and we've never left. I went to Benton schools until junior high when I transferred to Bauxite, where I graduated as class president in 2004. I've been the executive director of the Gann Museum of Saline County, which is the only known building in the world made of bauxite, for almost 4 years now. And under my management, the attendance has more than tripled. I love history. I'm passionate about my hometown, so combining the two is my absolute dream job. My husband is Brad Jordan. He has been the Community and Economic Development Director for the City of Benton for almost 6 years now. He is a 1996 Benton High School graduate and has his bachelor's in history and psychology with a master's in public history. Together, we have 2 beautiful children. Sophie is 9, loves soccer, graphic novels, and writes her own. Tucker is 8, loves football, scary movies, and fishing is his passion right now. They are both students at Howard Perrin Elementary School. where my husband and my father went to school as children. We have 3 dogs, Price, Fable, and Hazel. They're all our sweet rescues. And we also have 2 bearded dragons. So that's myself and my family.
Very good. So what is it that, what experience do you have to run for political office, in this case, alderman?
Yes. Well, as I said a moment ago, I'm the executive director for the Gann Museum of Sling County. I've been running this beloved Benton treasure for almost 4 years now. I have a vast knowledge of Benton history, which is crucial to moving forward. I'm also honored to be a board member of the Saline County Library and the Saline County Art League, which is responsible for the care of the Schuper House. And if you don't know, that's Benton's oldest brick home as you drive into downtown. The knowledge that I've gained from being involved in these important Saline County institutions provides me with the insights I need to aid in Benton's growth.
And what made you decide to run for office?
I decided to run because I care. This is my hometown where I was raised, and I'm raising my family. I care about our schools, our streets, our infrastructure, our parks, our historic downtown, our local businesses. I want to have a positive impact on my community and do my part to make Benton even better.
And what will be the main issues that you'll focus on once in office if you're elected?
Oh, goodness. Streets, drainage, and utilities. Our infrastructure is in dire need, and if we don't make a change, there could be horrific consequences. Ward 4 is home to many of our schools, and the traffic causes much damage to our streets. We don't have nearly enough sidewalks for our children to walk safely to and from school. The council just passed a resolution last week to add sidewalks on Newcomb from Harmon all the way to North Street, which is a great start. I look forward to working with Mr. Ritchie and the rest of the street department on even more improvements. We need 4-way stops on Whitlock as soon as possible. And in addition to working with our utility company and local businesses to ensure that they are being given reasonable rates on all their utilities. I've spoken to many of our local businesses, and the utility company is charging them additional deposit fees, which is burdensome on small businesses, especially during a global pandemic.
Okay. Several offices at the local level are nonpartisan. And what do you feel is important for voters to know about you that will give insight regarding your views and philosophies when you're asked to make a decision on policy as an alderman?
Well, I'm going to wake up every single day focused on what is good for Benton, what is going to give our kids the exact same great life growing up here that I had. And that is the lens I will always view public service through. The partisanship that happens in Washington doesn't live here in Benton. I'm here for Benton residents, business owners, and children that make up our great city. And for me, it's not about red versus blue. It's about red, white, and blue, and maroon, of course. Got to throw in the Panthers there. Go Panthers.
Being a Benton fan, I would expect you to throw the maroon in there. All right. On the, of course, state laws are made at the state level, but at the local level, ordinances, resolutions, and other avenues are used to govern the citizens. What do you believe your role is as an elected official when it comes to determining how you will vote on matters that affect the citizens who have elected you?
Yeah, well, the local level is the perfect place for a group of individuals to come together for the betterment of our community. My door is always open. I want to hear from residents and business owners of Ward 4 and the city on what they want to see in our community. You can really move the community forward at the local level, and that is my goal. Unlike at the state and national level, which are often paralyzed because of many extraneous variables, at the local level, by working with department heads, the mayor, and the council, things can truly get done, and people's lives can truly be made better, not just in the long term, but in the interim.
So when you are, if you're elected and your time is over, what do you want the citizens who elected you to look back and say about you?
That I made a difference, that I truly helped my community, that I was there when people needed me, that I was a positive influence on the community and a positive influence for my children and their future children. I really want to be a positive change for Benton.
Okay. So anything that you want to share in parting, any final thoughts or anything that you think it's critical for people to know when it comes down to considering voting for you?
Yes, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can reach me on Facebook. I've got my phone number, email, anything. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. I'm here for you, and that's all I want to do. This right here, serving my community, helping in any way I can. Please just let me know what you need, what you would like to see, and I will do all I can to make sure that happens.
All right, that's Lindsay Jordan. She is running for the alderman position, Ward 4, down in Benton, and so voting is coming up this Tuesday, and I presume you'll be at the polling site holding up some signs or just out knocking on doors like everybody else.
Absolutely, we sure will be.
All right, Lindsay, thank you for calling in to the Kim Hammer Show again, and she is running for alderman position 4 down in Sling County in the city of Benton. And next up, we have Shane Knight, who is also running for the same position. So, Shane, have I got you on the line? Whoop. Are you there, Shane?
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right. Well, welcome to the Kim Hammer Show. Thank you for calling in today. I know you and Lindsay and all the other candidates are out busy in the community, and thank goodness y'all got a beautiful Saturday to be out doing it, not having to do it in the rain. Let me get a quick word in. Everett GMC Buick. Appreciate them and sponsoring the Kim Hammer Show, as well as Baxley Phillips Mowdy Real Estate here in Central Arkansas and Edwards Food Store. We appreciate all three of those. Remember the typical slogan that I say, the views expressed on the show are mine and mine alone, but I appreciate these individuals helping us be able to get a voice out, and especially today when we're focusing on the local races and candidates that are running. We have two that we're focusing on down in Saline County and Benton, and in the second half of the show, we're going to have a couple call in from Cabot that'll be that are running for a position down there, James Reid and Phil Robinson. And then we'll wrap up the hour with David from David's Burgers, who will be coming on and sharing a little bit about their thoughts as well. All right, Shane, as you know, I shared some questions with you guys so that you can be prepared and we make the best use of the time. First of all, feel free to share a little bit about you and your family that you'd like, that you'd be comfortable sharing with the general public.
Oh, absolutely, Kim, and thank you for the opportunity. We are grateful to be able to speak to the residents of Benton and Ward 4. Family and I moved here in 2006. You know, we had the opportunity when we moved to Saline County to choose from Benton, Bryant, Haskell, Bauxite, and the city of Benton checked all the boxes. Pardon me, from our outstanding law enforcement to our fire department to parks, it checked all the boxes. And my wife and I said, this is where we're going to raise our family. At that time when we moved here, it was Christian and Natalie. And since then, we've had Lakin. Christian's getting ready to graduate Benton High School. He is a senior this year, and we're excited about that. So it's just a great community, and then we are very excited about the opportunity to use our experiences to enhance the quality of life here.
So speaking of experience, the second question is, what experience do you have to run for public office?
You know, one of the things we did, Kim, when we were looking at doing this, we went to all of our neighbors in our neighborhood. We walked the streets of Ward 4. We talked to the people that we knew. We also knocked on doors to say, hey, I'm giving some thought about running for council. Here's some things that we want to look at doing. Here's my experiences from my business background in the solid waste industry, my management background. Here's some skill sets that I bring to the table. And I wanted the residents in Ward 4 to hear who I am and what I am. I said, what do you think? And they said, Shane, go for it. Go for it. What you bring to the table are some of the things that we need on council. We need your experience. We need the insight that you bring from working with other city councils. One of the benefits of my current position is I work with 16 Class A cities in Southeast Arkansas, and bringing that experience to Benton, both their successes and the failures that other cities have had, it's an opportunity to advance. It's an opportunity to really enhance this quality of life that we have here in Benton.
Which leads into the third question. Why did you decide to run for office?
It was time. I looked at this a while back and I said, you know what, I'm not ready. I still got some things that I need to work on. I still have some growth that I need to go through. I still have some things I need to learn. And when it was time for us to begin to explore this option, like I said, I went door to door and I talked to people within the ward and I laid my ideas out on their table. And I said, what do you think? Yes or no? Should I run? Should I not run? And it was a resounding yes, run. It's time for you to do this. And what really sealed the deal was when I sat down at the table with the current seat holder and the partner in the ward. There's 2 seats. I sat down with both gentlemen, and I said, guys, shoot me straight. And they said, Shane, you've got the skill set. You've got the knowledge. If the citizens in Ward 4 say go for it, then we say go for it.
All right. And so what are going to be your main issues you'll focus on once you're in office if elected?
Ken, one of the things that we want to look at is in enhancing the quality of life for the city is enhancing business opportunity. That business background that I do bring to the table, we want to make sure that our regulations, we want to make sure that the code enforcement, we want to make sure everything down from utilities on up promotes job growth, promotes opportunities for the residents here in the city. And when I talk in particular about business growth, Kim, what we're talking about is within our community, bringing fresh capital into town with new businesses and new opportunities that enhances our tax base. When you enhance the tax base, you enhance the opportunity for streets improvements. You enhance the opportunities for drainage infrastructure, all the things around, but also this unique aspect, public-private partnerships. The more solid businesses that you have in a community, you have opportunity for those businesses to invest in that community through partnerships on projects that they invest in that also lessens the financial burden on your general budget, your operations, and things like that. So that's what we're looking to do. We're just looking to enhance our current quality of life even more by enhancing opportunities.
So several offices at the local level are nonpartisan, of which that's one of yours. But what do you feel is important for voters to know about you that will give insight regarding your views or philosophies when asked to make decisions on policies?
Kim, you know as well as I do that all politics is local politics. From the national level on down, it affects the local side. And I want the residents of Ward 4 in Benton to know that if they choose to vote for me, I'm a conservative. Therefore, they are going to get conservative principles. They're going to get conservative practices. They're going to get a conservative that looks at the budget through those lenses, that looks at spending through those lenses, that examines things, that looks at ways to cut regulations, cut spending, and enhance the quality of life. So I want the folks to know that if they elect me to serve as their next alderman, this is who they're getting. This is what they're getting. And they're going to know that those principles and those practices will be applied on the council and how business is conducted.
All right. And then, of course, state laws are made at the state level, but at the local level, ordinances, resolutions, other avenues are used to govern the citizens. What do you believe your role is as an elected official when it comes to determining how you will vote on matters that affect the citizens who have elected you?
First key principle is this: what is personal is personal. I represent the citizens of Ward 4, the citizens of Benton. And it's not about me. It's about what their desires, their wishes are, what they are looking to accomplish, and I am their representative. So sometimes we have to set those personal aspects aside and say, okay, this is what the residents have sent me to do. This is what they're asking to be done. So how can we do this that not only benefits the ward, but also has a positive ripple effect throughout the entire city? And that's the aspect that you've got to bring onto this local thing. I think we've seen now, watching the news and various other outlets, how important local policy is in the health and success of the local community.
So when you're elected, time is over. If you are elected, what do you want the citizens who elected you to look back and say about you?
That he did a good job, that he left the position when the residents of Ward 4 say, you've done, you're done. He left it in a good position. He left us better. He enhanced the quality of life, and he enhanced opportunity for businesses, for the local family to grow, to be better, be healthier, and have more opportunity.
All right. Let me give you a chance, just open mic. I did that for Lindsay. Let me do that for you. Anything you want to share with the listening audience, especially those that are in Ward 4 down in Benton and Saline County, that you want them to take away from the conversation today?
Here's the thing, Kim. When we moved here, we moved to a great community. Benton is unique. Benton is blessed. Benton is extremely fortunate. And I want to leave it even more blessed, even more fortunate with greater opportunity. It's just, this is our home. And this is where we plan to retire. This is where, Lord willing, we hope that our children, when they finish school and do what they do, they come back to Benton. And what I'm working towards is not just for the now, but I'm also working towards building and laying that foundation for my children to come back here after they go to school and to raise their families. Benton is a tremendous community, and we're going to keep it that way.
All right. That is Shane Knight, who's running for Ward 4 down in Benton. And this is an opportunity for you to listen to some of the local elections that are going on at the local level. That would be, in this case, we've got all the city aldermen lined up, or those that are running for city director, a few of them. And so want you to stay tuned into the Kim Hammer Show. But right now we've got unexpected opportunity and blessing because calling in from the campaign trail is our current Congressman French Hill. French, thank you for calling into the Kim Hammer Show today. I know you got a packed agenda, so thanks for calling in for just a few minutes.
Of course, Kim. Great to be with you. It's great to encourage everybody who wants the economy to reopen and grow and kill this virus to get out and vote Republican this coming. They can vote today or Monday or Tuesday.
Hey, just on that note, because that is one thing that's on everybody's mind. I know there's 4 major players out there when it comes to the pharma companies that are competing to get the vaccine up and going. Do you have any up-to-date insight that you could share as far as where we are on that? I know President Trump, who's speaking now in Newtown, Pennsylvania, is very encouraged by how soon that'll be. But do you have any personal insight you can share on that?
Well, first of all, everyone needs to know that the Congress put up $10 billion to have a competition to get fast therapeutics to treat the virus. And you've seen that with remdesivir and other things coming to market to help treat the virus and make people get well quicker if they get it. And then secondly, this competition, 4 finalists out of 100, Kim, that started out in January to compete for the vaccine. They're all in human clinical trials. Those have gone pretty well, all under FDA supervision. And I think sometime in the next month or two, we will get 1 or more vaccines that will clear this human trial phase. And then they'll check their data and get FDA approval for emergency application. So I'm excited that in 2021 that we'll have that vaccine for our people.
I can't say who they are because I don't think they're ready to go public with it, but I do know that a local company here has been authorized by the FDA to do testing of one of the vaccines that's coming out. They're going to be looking for 3,000 people, and hopefully we'll have them on the show by next week so they can talk about that. But it is encouraging to know it's on the horizon.
I think everybody also ought to know that our states are all involved in the planning for the distribution of that for our elderly, for our caregivers, for the people on the front lines. And so every state is involved in an integrated plan for the distribution of that vaccine. And our military logistics folks are going to help make sure that it can be brought up to scale.
Very good. Well, in a couple of minutes, anything that you want to share, open mic. This Tuesday is a big day for everybody, especially for you as our sitting congressman. So anything that you just want to share openly with the listening audience on the Kim Hammer Show.
Well, Kim, I love working with you and my other leaders in Saline County, and I feel that way in all 6 other counties I represent in Central Arkansas. It's a real honor for me to represent all the families here in the metro area. I've worked hard for veterans. I've worked hard to cut taxes on both small businesses and families so families can keep more of their own hard-earned money and spend it the way they want to, and that businesses can expand and hire more people. And we need that approach. And that's why I want to be reelected, is to make sure that we get this economy reopened and we get this virus killed and we can go back with our lives and renew that promise to people. Second thing I'd tell them is I've fought greatly over the last 6 years for more opportunities for our young people to get workforce education. Again, Saline County, a major leader there. and fight for our vets to make sure they get the services they need and the responsiveness from the VA. So I'm eager to serve another 2-year term, and I really urge people to support me either today, early voting, Monday, or on Tuesday, Election Day.
I will say one thing. We were in an event, I think it was Thursday night, down at the Benton Event Center, and you had a heck of a turnout, and you had some really heavy hitters whose names have great integrity and great success just behind their names. You had Senator Cotton there. You had Senator Bozeman. You had Congressman Scalise, who was very inspirational in his account of what happened and also being supportive of you. You had Bruce Westerman there. I think you had 5 of the 7 constitutional officers, as well as a great number of state officials that were elected like myself and others, and also at the local and county level. And so you had a great turnout the other night at Thursday night for supporting you, and appreciate all those folks coming together in a show of force for you.
It was great. We're all working hard, fanned out across all 7 counties today, tomorrow, and Monday and Tuesday. And appreciate Mike Huckabee coming back to town.
Oh, yeah, he was
Mike
there.
I've been close to.
Sorry, Mike.
Well, Mike's such an inspiration to those of us who are conservatives. Mike Huckabee is a real inspiration to us. We appreciate his voice on the national scale for smaller government, family values, a strong defense, America leadership in the world. We appreciate our great former governor and former presidential candidate.
That's right. He did a great job, too. I probably will never be invited on a show because I forgot to mention him, but oh well.
No, we'll never mention it to him.
No.
Never let him know.
Hey,
Tim, thanks for having me.
You're welcome, Congressman. Thank you. That's French Hill. Thanks for coming off the campaign trail and calling in, and appreciate that very much. Don't forget, this Tuesday is a big day. You need to go vote, especially if you want conservative values representing you at the national and at the local level here in the state. The big thing is get out and vote. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back, and we're going to have James Reid from up in Cabot, followed by Phil Robinson, and we'll get Dave with Davis Burgers here in Little Rock. We'll be back to the Kim Hammer Show.
Anywhere with our free mobile app, 1011 FM, theanswer.com, Amazon, Alexa, iHeart, or radio.com. Breaking news and stimulating talk. 101.1 FM, The Answer. What has to be the craziest campaign ever has come to an end, and it's time to tally up the ballots. Can President Trump muster the same support as 2016?
Keep America great.
Or will Joe Biden be heading to the White House?
I believe this election is about who we are as a nation.
And will we see a shift of power in Congress? Join us for live up-to-the-minute election results. Tuesday, coverage begins at 7. 101.1 FM, The Answer.
Here are the facts. Your business needs leads and sales. There are potential customers online right now looking for what you do. Will they find you or your competitor? You need Salem Surround. Having to do your own digital marketing while trying to manage your business, well, there's just not enough time in the day. You need Salem Surround. You're doing all you can to market your business, but are you sure you have the right strategy or seeing a great return on investment? You need Salem Surround. The marketing team here at Salem Surround is ready to help your business now. We'll design a plan that targets potential customers with proven marketing strategies, using everything in our toolkit to work for you. Digital, audio, mobile, even audience-engaging contests and promotions. Contact Salem Surround for a free evaluation of your marketing plan and see how we can help place your advertising message in front of today's consumers. Learn more at surroundlittlerock.com. Surroundlittlerock.com. Connecting you with new customers.
Welcome back to the Kim Hammer Show on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Again, thanks to the sponsors of the show, which are Everett GMC Buick down in Saline County, Highway 5, Elko Road and I-30. Also, Baxley Penfield Mounty down at Saline County there at Spring Hill Road and Highway 5 for all your needs in Central Arkansas. Edwards Food Store here in Central Arkansas, over in East Arkansas. Great place for you to go shop. Don't forget, today is Halloween, so be careful when you're driving around, especially as it gets closer to dark. We don't want to have any tragedies involving kids, and so please be careful with that. Also, don't forget, this Tuesday is Go Vote, but get out early. Vote today, vote Monday, but make sure you get out and vote, and don't wake up Wednesday morning wish you would have. And so those are all important announcements that you need to remember. We're focusing on the local level elections, which involve aldermen. We had potential aldermen on from Saline County down in Benton earlier, and now we're turning our attention toward Cabot and a race up there between James Reid and Phil Robinson. And at this time, we've got James Reid on. And James, thank you for taking a few minutes off the campaign trail to be on the Kim Hammer Show.
And thank you, Kim. I wanted to thank 101 FM and the Kim Hammer Show for hosting this opportunity to talk about Cabot Municipal Race for City Council. And I've lived in Cabot for the last 35 years. My wife Hilda and I have 5 grown children and 14 grandchildren that live in Cabot or nearby. So we're real vested in this area.
Well, you just told a little bit about your family, but is there anything else you want the public to know, especially down there in the Cabot area, about just about your family or anything else that you feel comfortable sharing?
Sure. I grew up in a career Air Force military family, and we moved around a great deal. Our last duty station was Little Rock Air Force Base, so that's where I graduated from high school. After I served in the Air Force during the Vietnam era, I settled in Jacksonville and to raise my family. And I'm a graduate of the University of Arkansas at Little Rock with a bachelor's degree in accounting and marketing. I've been a local musician and played with several of the local bands and church praise teams. I'm a member of the Tribe of Judah, which is a motorcycle ministry in the 1% motorcycle community. And I've recently retired from a 30-year career as a sales engineer in the industrial equipment business for a local family-owned business out in North Little Rock, working with large manufacturings like the Tyson plant and Nuclear One, that sort of thing.
Very good. So what experience do you have, James, to run for political office?
I've been serving. I served for 15 years for the Cabot Planning Commission under 4 different administrations. I was involved in developing our transportation plans, our business corridor plan, our land use plans, and we've developed from a small town to one of the best cities in the state to raise a family. In addition, my service as the chairman for the Planning Commission, I attended the city council meetings to clarify why we were recommending each piece of legislation to the city council. I have completed the training and become a certified Arkansas planning official, which is, I view education in whatever areas of government that you're involved in, that you get the education that goes along with it. And all of the commissioners on the Cabot Planning Commission are all certified Arkansas planning officials now. As a current city council representative, I've been on the co-chairman for the Municipal Services Committee and have represented Cabot on the advisory board for the Arkansas Municipal League. We meet with the state representative and the state senator on legislation that impacts our position on home rule. And we held citizen meetings in Ward 3. We called it Your Voice, Your City, Your Voice, to offer residents and businesses an opportunity to voice their opinions on the priority of what they wanted addressed in our neighborhoods.
So what made you decide to run for office again, in this case?
As I retired, I wanted to be more involved in the implementation of the future planning that I had put in place. And also Rick Prentice, one of our former city councilmen, was a guy that I admired. He was real straightforward in his position on tough issues. And I thought, that's the kind of people we need in there. And basically, he was the people's voice on issues that impacts our community. I wanted to, as he retired, I wanted to take that position.
And what will be your main issues you'll focus on once elected into office, if you are?
The main issues I'll focus on is going to be, are we committed to advocating for our elderly by supporting programs that help our seniors age in place. We've got a new Peak Center. It's for our elderly activities. We've invested heavily in that from a city standpoint. And you can be as young as 50 and join that group. So I go in and I've joined that group. I will continue to support young families and the development of more constructive outlets for Cabot's teens. I stand behind revitalization of our downtown and 1976 in March, we had a tornado come through the center of our town and took a lot of our existing history out. And I'm working to revitalize this downtown and regain a new sense of the history of Cabot. We have a strong white-collar educated workforce that basically travels into Little Rock each day. And what I'd like to see us attract is some education and technical industries into our city so that we can have places for people to work right here in the city instead of going into Little Rock.
Several offices at the local level are nonpartisan, and what do you feel is important for voters to know about you that will give insight regarding your views or philosophies when asked to make decisions on policy?
I mean, this government is nonpartisan, and I view this as the service level of government and deals with basic physical and social needs of the citizens. What we do is not party affiliated. What we do is we provide the needs to the people directly for police and fire protection, for sanitation, for clean, dependable water, wastewater services, for quality streets that keep up with our population, and for parks and recreation. So the quality of life in a place working directly with the people. We need to be a city that offers an attitude of diversity if we want to keep our children from graduating and moving away.
And of course, state laws are made at the state level, but at the local level, ordinances, resolutions, and other avenues are used to govern the citizens. What do you believe your role is as an elected official when it comes to determining how you will vote on matters that affect the citizens you've been elected to represent?
One of the most important things I learned in chairing the Planning Commission was to give each person their voice, give them an opportunity to speak, say what they feel about a change that's coming in their neighborhood. If you give everyone a chance to voice their opinion, and sometimes you hear the same opinion several times, but it's still, I think, important that we have our freedom of speech. So my role as elected official is to listen to and be a voice for the citizens, to safeguard the services that the citizens need, and to look forward to how we can be effective in the future. Because you got to look forward, and it means more than just making a decision on whoever's the loudest at the moment. What's going to carry this city and the people with the services they expect into the future.
Okay. And when your elected time is over, what do you want the citizens who elected you to look back and say about you?
I hope they say the same things I think about Rick. He didn't mind asking the hard questions, and he gave his citizens a chance to speak their mind. Because I really believe treating others the way you would want to be treated with dignity is one of the most important things that you can do in government.
With a minute or so we got left, is there anything that you just want to share in an open mic format with those that are listening from up in your area or listening around the state? And again, I want to focus that at the local level is one of the most in-touch personal experiences you can have with an elected official at the city level or at the county level. So anything that you want to share with those that might be listening that are considering voting for you?
Yes, that I've been real supportive in city council over the last 2 years, and even through planning commission of our fire department. And I have the full support of the local fire union, which is Local 4544 Cabot firefighters. And all the firefighters are giving me a lot of encouragement and support here. That's been something that I'm very proud of.
All right. You've been listening to James Reid. And James, what position is it y'all are running for up there in the city of Cabot?
Yes, I'm running for Ward 3, which is the east side of town,
okay.
Position 2.
Position 2. All right. Very good. Well, thank you for taking time off the campaign trail to be on the Kim Hammer Show today, and hopefully it's been beneficial to you and the listeners up in Cabot. That's James Reid, who's running for Ward 3, Position 2. And so thank you for being on the Kim Hammer Show today. And now we've got Phil Robinson on the phone, also calling in from Cabot. He as well is running for the Ward 3, Position 2. And Phil, thank you for taking time out off the campaign trail to be on the Kim Hammer Show.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to get on and visit with you and to speak with the people of Cabot. I appreciate that opportunity.
So let's start off, first of all, to share a little bit about you and your family that you'd feel comfortable sharing with the general public.
You bet. I grew up the son of an Army warrant officer, and we settled in Oklahoma after his retirement. And it was there that I attended high school and college and met my wife, Denise. We've been married now for 37 years. I received a Bachelor of Science degree in Electronics Engineering Technology from Oklahoma State University, and then joined the Air Force after that, much to my father's chagrin, being an Army guy. But I served for nearly 21 years as an Air Force officer and earning my Master of Science degree in Logistics Management along the way. Retired from the Air Force in 2005. And after that, I served as Cabot's fire chief and fire marshal for the next 14 years, retiring from that in 2019. I now serve as a bus driver for our school district up here and teach firearm safety and security officer courses. My wife and I have a daughter who works in animal services and a son who's an Air Force officer. And that's Phil Robinson in a nutshell.
Very good. So what experience do you have to run for political office?
Well, most recently, I served as Cabot's fire chief and department head. In that position, I found myself involved at one level or another in nearly every facet of our city government here. I worked closely with all the other department heads, the council, 5 different mayors and their staffs, Cabot citizens, Cabot community leaders, and even agencies outside of Cabot that had impacts on us here in town. I was also Cabot's representative on the board and the board member on the ambulance company that serves our community. I'm thoroughly versed on the inner workings of city government as a result of all that background. As an Air Force officer, I served at the highest levels of government, representing the United States to foreign governments, and was placed in charge of and very successful with huge programs and huge budgets. Led up to 1,000 people who were charged with maintaining our war fighting and nuclear deterrent capabilities. And I'll use that broad-based experience, which I don't think anybody else has in the race right now, to make Cabot better once I'm elected.
So what made you decide to run for office?
Well, that's a kind of a unique story. Since I was a child, I've always derived a sense of accomplishment and self-satisfaction when I was able to help somebody in some way, especially in ways where others didn't have the capability or didn't have the desire to do that. It just gave me some satisfaction to be able to step in and help out when I could. I have a strong desire to serve in areas where others kind of shun from that responsibility for one reason or another, and not critical of that, just some are not either able or not willing to in those cases. I retired from the fire department, and then I felt a calling to continue serving. That calling kind of grew stronger and stronger, and I've continued to attend council meetings, as I've done for the past 15 years now, and saw there was an opportunity to continue serving in my community as a council member. I can be part of seeing Cabot be a place that future generations, mine included, will always call home, as I have.
So what will be your main issues that you'll focus on once elected to office, if you are elected?
Well, Cabot has a rich history of being a community that's defined by its citizens. Our citizens have to have a voice in continuing to grow our city in a direction that they want it to go. By doing that, we can ensure that our citizens will stay here and be in a city that we're proud of and that they're proud of. I've seen many of the small businesses come and go in my time here in Cabot, and we need to actively search for and aggressively support businesses that are the best fit for Cabot. When we find those businesses, get them rooted in Cabot and provide them with resources for success, they'll stay and they'll grow here. We need to provide an infrastructure for our businesses and for citizens that is strategically planned in a way that they don't fall behind as they have in the past. We need strong internet services, good clean water and wastewater that can meet the future demands, good transportation. Our roads right now are suffering and need resourceful planning to smooth out our traffic flow. All work to find innovative ways to identify and secure resources to ensure our infrastructure meets the future requirements of our city.
Several offices at the local level are nonpartisan. What do you feel is important for voters to know about you that will give insight regarding your views or philosophies when asked to make decisions on policy?
While we are nonpartisan, it is important for people to know our backgrounds, where we come from, and what our philosophies are. And I'll be upfront, I'm a Christian conservative. I believe in the sanctity of life. I believe in the U.S. Constitution and have several times taken an oath to support and defend it. I support the Second Amendment. I believe in integrity and transparency in all things, especially in matters of public trust. I believe that our government should serve its citizens and not be the other way around. I believe in hard work and an honest living. I believe in helping those who are not able to help themselves, and I'll fight for all of these things when I'm elected to the Cabot City Council.
Of course, state laws are made at the state level, but at the local level, ordinances, resolutions, and other avenues are used to govern the citizens. What do you believe your role is as an elected official when it comes to determining how you'll vote on matters that affect the citizens who have elected you?
You bet. The role of any elected official is to serve and to accurately represent the people who elected him or her. Elected officials have to stay within the bounds of the laws and work to change them when they're no longer appropriate or effective for the community. I'll aggressively seek the will of the people I represent and speak and act on their behalf. I'll provide feedback mechanisms so that they're comfortable for the reasons behind the way I vote. And I hope to have a good dialogue with the community and talk back and forth with folks to get their ideas spoken for and implemented when it looks like that's the best way to go.
And when your elected time is over, what do you want the citizens who elected you to look back and say about you?
Well, looking at the organizations that I've led and that I've been in, I've made it a well-known desire of mine and one expectation of the people in the organizations, and that is continuous improvement. At the end of each day, you should be able to look back and see that something is better because you were there. That improvement may be that you are better individually, maybe that the organization is better, or it could even be that you've made things better for somebody else. It may mean that you've made the world better in some way. My retirement from the fire department left Cabot with 2 beautiful fire stations, new fire stations, a modernized fleet of fire vehicles, numerous upgraded pieces of equipment, a fleshed out structure that grew promotion potential from 5 positions to 27 positions, and many new programs that made Cabot safer and more secure. Hope that people who elect me will look back and see that I am a better person for serving on this Cabot City Council, that the council itself and the Cabot City government is in better shape because Phil Robinson was there, that the city of Cabot is a better place for future generations because Phil Robinson was a Cabot City councilman. I love Cabot and hope nothing less than to see it grow into a city that our citizens will proudly call home.
All right, very good. I've got about 30 seconds to give you an open mic to share anything that I haven't covered that you want the citizens of Cabot to know.
Sure. Yeah, I was, as I told before, was an Air Force guy following an Army career with my father. We traveled all over the world, all over the United States, lived in many states and 5 foreign countries. And in that process, at the end, I came home to Cabot. Cabot is the only place that I've lived for more than 3 or 4 years. And my family, my kids both graduated from school here. And like I said before, I love Cabot. I want to see it be a place that I can live and future generations would love to be here and call home.
Very good. All right, that's been Phil Robinson, who's running for Ward 3, Position 2 up in the city of Cabot. And hope that you've learned, especially if you're in the Cabot area. But one thing I do want to say, the quality of the candidates that are calling in, I think, is a reflection of good hope for the future. All right, I've got about 5 minutes, but I wanted to get David Bubbus in. And David, thanks for calling into the Kim Hammer Show. And let's kind of cut to the chase as far as getting to maybe the last 2 or 3 questions to give you time, because I think that'll reflect probably more than anything as far as what you want people to know about you. First of all, what position is it that you're running for here in the city of Little Rock?
I'm running for at-large position 9, city director.
All right, at-large.
So that's for the overall city. That's not for a ward. That's for the city as a whole.
Okay. At-large position, position 9, you said?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go to question number 5. First of all, several offices at the local level are nonpartisan. What do you feel is important about the voters to know about you that will give insight regarding your views or philosophies when you are asked to make decisions on policy?
Well, I think our biggest decision on policy is going to be the police. We have got a real crisis in our country right now with race and dealing with race, and lots of rioting, lots of anger, lots of violence, and a lot of people want to take that out on the police, and they want to cut our police budgets and do things that I really believe would make Little Rock less safe. And so I don't believe that's the answer. I don't think that's that may be popular in some parts of the country, but I don't think that's Little Rock. I think most families want good policing. They want fair policing. They want the police to treat them well, treat them with value, treat them with respect, and be smart, be well trained, and be well equipped. And we can't do those things if we cut our police funding. So I think that's one of the biggest issues we have, is being able to say to the Black community that we love you, we respect you. We need to make sure that your people are not treated with violence that's unnecessary, especially. So, and we've got to safeguard against that. But you can't take the police and ask them to say, hey, we're not going to have as many police officers, so we're going to cover more territory with less people and less training and less equipment, and say, hey, we're going to do a good job of doing that. I think that's a recipe for disaster. I'm fearful that if we do cut our police funding, that our police will be ill-equipped or ill-trained. And not only that, but that we may not even have the best police officers. Another thing that's been floated around has been requiring all the police officers to live in the city of Little Rock. And, the vast majority of our police officers don't live in Little Rock. So what we need to do is we don't need to be concentrated on where our police officers live, but we need to be concentrated on who they are. So we need to get the best police officers that can handle the pressure, that can deal with things the right way. We need to equip them and train them and invest in our police department, because I really believe for Little Rock to do better, it's got to be safer, and we've got to be more prosperous financially. If we do those two things, I think that's a big part of what the city board can do to move Little Rock in the right direction.
All right. I got about a minute and a half. What do you believe? I'm sorry, man. What do you believe your role is as an elected? No. What do you believe your role is as an elected official when it comes to determining how you'll vote on matters that affect the citizens who elected you?
Well, I think we've got a big problem with focus, and it's hard to answer these questions that are so complicated very quickly. But we have a tendency to focus on national issues rather than focus on local issues. And, everybody out there, I'm a burger guy. I'm David's Burgers. I don't need another job. I'm quite busy enough. I'm trying to open several more locations this coming year, and I've got 6 kids, 3 biological and 3 adopted. And we've invested in Little Rock. We've invested in Central Arkansas, and we love Central Arkansas. And this is where we are, and this is where we're going to be. I've got a 2-year-old that's going to be in school here for 16 more years. So my motives are clear. I'm not trying to push a political career forward. That's not what I care about. I'm scared that Little Rock is going to go in the wrong direction, and we're going to look back 10 years from now and say what happened. And, we didn't provide enough checks and balances for our mayor, and the mayor did some things that we're not really happy with looking back. And that's not what we need. We need to have, voices from all parts of the city and come together and get some things done. So my motives are clear. I really want what's best for Little Rock, and I think we can do a whole lot better, and I think we can prevent a whole lot of bad things from happening as well. So that's why I'm running, and that's why I would ask for y'all to vote. And one more thing I'd ask, if y'all don't mind, if y'all could go to WeCanDoBetterLittleRock.com and send me a little bit of money, I'd really appreciate it. I think Little Rock can be better, and the rest of the state is better when Little Rock is better.
Got to go. Kim Hammer Show, David Bubbus, at-large position 9. Thanks for being on.
101.1 FM, The Answer. KDXE FM, Kamak Village, Little Rock. A Salem Media Group station. 101.1 FM, The Answer.